Okay, everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Happy to have you with us. We're talking about integrating AWS CloudWatch with Opsgenie. My name is Sean Pinney. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Opsgenie, and I'm joined by John Meyer, Senior Solutions Engineer. John, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. So we can jump right in here and we'll get to the demo quickly. So as always, if you do have questions, please ask. We want to keep this as, if you've been to any of our webinars in the past, as a two-way conversation as humanly possible. So if you do have questions, there's that chat box on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Ask questions at any time. I would like to get a little bit of information from you guys about who we have on the line. So I'm going to put a poll on the screen, just asking, are you evaluating Opsgenie or are you already a customer? So if you could, you should see that pop up. If you could vote, we can help. This helps us kind of customize the content and give a little color and context if we have a lot of prospects and trial users on the line, or if we have customers. Okay, so it looks like we've got a good mix of both. So good to see some customers showing up, and good to also see some prospects on the line and some people in the trial and evaluation. So that's great. Perfect. All right. I'll close that for now. All right, let's go back. Okay, great. So real quick, agenda, it's a short one. We're going to talk very quickly, just kind of setting context up front about integrations with Opsgenie and the importance of them. And then we'll talk, obviously, about AWS and CloudWatch in particular, and then we'll get right into the demo, which will be the meat of the presentation today. So the first thing you should know, especially particularly for any prospects and people who are evaluating Opsgenie, is really the core of our functionality and the core of the business and our focus is really on making sure that we've got great integrations with all the different tools that our customers use. We've got, at this point, over 200 total integrations, many of them bi-directional. And in addition to those AWS integrations that we're talking about today, at a high level, on the bi-directional side, being able to send messages, notes, and actions, or making sure that those notes and actions are synchronized between applications is a key. The teams are kept up to date no matter which application they're using. So whether it's a messaging app, a chat apps tool, a ticketing system, like Jira, things like that, you can save time in automatically recording all that information in your systems in one place. So if you're new to Opsgenie, you should definitely be looking at all of our integrations because they're constantly evolving for one thing, and we're constantly adding new ones. And these AWS integrations are a good place to start as a good example. But if we drill in a little bit further, so talking specifically about Amazon, Opsgenie is all in, as I like to say, on Amazon. So we are an advanced technology partner, and we're also currently in the process of getting our DevOps competency. That process is about halfway through. We've been approved through a couple of rounds of it. So not only that, we're working very closely with the Amazon partnership that we do have to improve the integrations that we have with CloudWatch and Route 53 and EC2, et cetera, that we'll talk about, but also looking for new and better ways to get feedback from our customers who are also using all these Amazon services to make sure that these integrations are as useful as they possibly can be. And that's what we're talking about today with CloudWatch in particular. So, and as I did mention, so being part of being all in on Amazon and being a customer ourselves is, we don't just stop at CloudWatch. We've got the RDS. If you're using any of these other services that Amazon provides, we have integrations for them, and you should check that out in our integrations tab on the website and our documentation, or you can connect with us. Even if you have questions actually today, you can put those in the chat box, and we're happy to field them or to take them offline. Because I think the real power of Opsgenie is when you kind of use it as that platform level. You're able to plug in your tools, organize your alerts and incidents, whether it's CloudWatch or any other tool, and feed that to the right person at the right time or right team. That's really the benefit in what we're trying to talk about here today. So at a very high level, before John gets into the details, Opsgenie kind of sits in between, in this case, Amazon CloudWatch and those alarms that are going off in your team. So we're able to, kind of be that interdisciplinary spot where we kind of integrate with the tool, and we're able to notify the right people or teams based on those schedules, notification preferences, the routing rules that you've set up. So if you're already a customer, you're probably attuned to this with any other tools that you're using. If you're a prospect and you're thinking about things like being overwhelmed with alerts, or trying to kind of reduce some chaos that you're seeing across your teams, or you have a manual process. That's the real benefit of Opsgenie, and we'll show you that in the demo today. And there's really four key benefits that I like to hit on. Enriching the alarms. So we can reformat and add additional data to those alarms that are coming through to ensure that the resulting alerts contain that critical information, which is key. So they have the context up front and they don't have to go searching for it, which, in many tools you get kind of a cryptic message and you kind of have to do a little investigative work. Correlation or consolidating and deduplicating. I think that's a big piece. Particularly today, we're talking about AWS services and reducing the noise. That applies across the board, no matter what integration you're using. The ability of our flexible rules engine and kind of just the knowledge on the back end to be able to say, no two alarms in this case or alerts are the same, and to be able to consolidate and deduplicate as needed. And then analyzing incidents and kind of improving your process. So the other big benefit, if you've been a customer for a while, you've seen this. But if not, you're new, is the back-end reporting. So along the path, we're tracking all that activity through the incident lifecycle. And we've got reporting. Our reporting is built off of a tool called Looker, a BI tool. So it's very comprehensive. It's very dynamic. Many tools where you kind of have to back your process into the existing reports. Ours is kind of the opposite. You can drill in and get details on any incident that occurs, which is good because when you have to take a pause to have a post-mortem for a second, you got to say, okay, what happened last time? How can we adjust our processes to improve, to shorten mean time to respond or anything else like that before that next incident occurs. So those are, four very high-level examples and benefits of the integrations, particularly with Amazon and CloudWatch. And but now I really the meat of this, I want to send it over to John to get into the details of not only the setup, but also some use cases. And he's got a couple of cool things to show us there. So John, I'm gonna see if I can make you the presenter here.
All right.
So that should pop up.
All right, I'm going to share my Opsgenie window.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, thank you, Sean. So as Sean mentioned previously, with our AWS CloudWatch integration, when an alarm is created in CloudWatch, we can then create an alert in Opsgenie, and that alert will notify the correct Opsgenie team, and then it will be routed per your configurations. So you can route different CloudWatch alarms to different Opsgenie teams based on the contents of that alarm. And then also, when the alarm is resolved in CloudWatch, if something comes back up or the errors are resolved, a recovery is sent to Opsgenie to actually close that existing alert. So there's no need to manually close out everything because CloudWatch can do that for you actually. So I'm going to step you through how to set up that integration with AWS CloudWatch. So the first thing you want to do is go to the integrations page. And we are just going to add a new integration. And we're just going to search for CloudWatch. All right, and then from here, we're just going to follow the steps here. And we're going to copy this URL here. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually on the AWS side of things. So if you log into the management console, the first thing we're going to do is create an SNS topic for Opsgenie. So if we go over to SNS and then go to topics, we're going to create a new topic, and we will just go ahead and call this Opsgenie 2. And then we'll go ahead and create that topic. And then from here, we want to add an HTTPS subscription for the specific topic. So we're going to click on create subscription, and we want to do HTTPS. And then we're going to copy and paste that endpoint from the Opsgenie integration into that endpoint field. So we're going to click on create subscription. And then your SNS topic is set up. And now we're ready to go and configure a CloudWatch alarm. So now if we go to CloudWatch within the AWS console, we then want to go to just to alarms. And then from here, we have the options of setting up multiple different alarms for different use cases. So as you can see, we can monitor Lambda functions, we can monitor logs, EC2 metrics, really any of your applications that are running in AWS, we can monitor with CloudWatch and create Opsgenie alerts for those events. So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to monitor one of the Lambda functions that we have set up. So we're going to go to Lambda metrics, and then down below we have a Lambda function that actually creates Opsgenie alerts from Slack. So what's actually doing is it's monitoring Slack for certain keywords, and when that keyword occurs, it creates an Opsgenie alert. And what we want to do with CloudWatch is we want to monitor that Lambda function for any errors. So we're going to click here for metric name errors, and then we're going to click next. And we will just call this Slack function errors. We can also put that in the description. And we are going to notify whenever the state is alarm. And we are going to send that notification to the SNS topic that we have set up. So we have both the Opsgenie and OPS PSE SNS topics. This is one that I previously configured, so I'm going to choose that SNS topic. And then from there, all we have to do is go ahead and set up that alarm by creating alarm. Then now on your CloudWatch dashboard, you'll be able to see all of the different alarms that you have set up and the status of those. So now if we go back into Opsgenie, I will go and take a look at one of the previously configured Lambda functions, or sorry, CloudWatch integrations. So as you can see here, we set up this CloudWatch integration and we are routing those alerts to our site reliability team. On the left-hand side here, we have different create alert actions set up depending on the alarm that we're getting from CloudWatch. So if the new state value equals alarm in CloudWatch, if that is in the payload that we get from CloudWatch, we're going to create a new Opsgenie alert. And we can have different alerts for different alarms. So for example, here we have our network traffic alarm. We're going to say if the new state value equals alarm and the alarm name contains network traffic, then configure the alert like so and set the priority properly. So in this instance, we're setting the priority to P1 critical. And you can set up different actions for all of your different Lambda functions and your CloudWatch alarms. So down below here, we can actually customize what these alerts look like. So for example, in the alert message, which is essentially just the alert summary, we are including the word CloudWatch, and then we're actually pulling in the alarm name from CloudWatch as well as the subject of that alarm. If we want to pull in other values, maybe we want new state value in the message, all we have to do is drag and drop. So you can configure these Opsgenie alerts to meet your needs. In the description field, maybe you want a bit more information, you can also drag and drop all these different fields on the right to sort of customize what that alert looks like.
Hey, John, we do have a question on a couple of those things there.
Sure.
So there's, Wayne was asking, is there a doc or any documentation, or I'm not sure if we have any in our documentation on how to create that Slack to Opsgenie with Lambda kind of setup? I don't know if we have anything written on that. We may need to.
I believe we do have a blog post from a while ago that we wrote on how to do that.
Yeah, I can look that up and we'll get that out to you guys.
Yep. So we definitely do have a blog post on that.
Okay, we'll take that offline and we'll send that out after with the recap.
Okay. Was that the only question?
For now, yep, you're all set.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to actually create a new create alert action for that alarm that we just set up. So we're going to call this Slack Lambda errors. And now we're going to set the filter for this particular alert. So we want to make sure that the new state value contains alarm. And we're also going to check the alarm name, and we named that Slack error. So now anytime that anytime CloudWatch creates that alarm, it will filter based on this create alert action here, and it will set the Opsgenie alert accordingly. So we also want the alarm name here in the message, as well as the new state value. And then it will create the Opsgenie alert and it will route to those respective teams. So now I'm going to go to the Opsgenie alert dashboard and show you what those CloudWatch alerts actually look like. So on the left-hand side here, we have a predefined search for CloudWatch alerts, and we're just searching on source CloudWatch. And as you can see right here, we have a number of different alerts from CloudWatch. So I'll just click into this one right here. And when you click into the alert, you're able to view all the different alert details for that particular alert. So as we can see, this came from CloudWatch. We assigned it to our ops team and our site reliability team. And the specific alias for this alert is the region, and then the ID and the new state value. And then down below, we actually have the CloudWatch specific details. So again, we have the alarm name, the account ID, the reason, the value, the old value. We also have the region. We have the time that this happened at, as well as the trigger information. And what's great about Opsgenie is you can route alerts based on all this information in here. So for example, if you wanted to set your priority of your alert based on this new state value, you can go ahead and do that. Maybe you want to route your alerts based on which region the alarms are coming from. You can also do that as well. So all this information is accessible to you, and you can route based on this information in the alert. And also in the activity log, there is a full audit trail of everything that happened with this particular alert. So if something was sent to Slack, if it was sent to ServiceNow, you can track all this information in here and see where this alert went, who was notified, and so on. So now I'm going to show you how to do some more advanced functions with the details that we have here in this particular alert. So I'm going to open up the site reliability team, because that's where this alert was originally routed. So if we go to site reliability, and within this team, I set up certain policies for CloudWatch specific alerts. And policies are just ways of modifying either the contents of an alert or the notification flow of an alert right before that alert is created. So here we created this ops team redirect policy, and all this is saying is if the tag of the alert contains localhost, so if that comes from our localhost CloudWatch, then we want to go ahead and actually add our ops team to that particular alert. So it's originally going to the site reliability team, but if it matches these conditions, if it comes from CloudWatch and the tag contains localhost, then we also want to add the ops team to that particular alert for additional visibility so that they can review it as well. We also have we have a warning threshold policy set up. So we are saying if the alert comes from CloudWatch and the threshold detail in the Opsgenie alert contains 75, then we want to go ahead and notify a particular individual. So I'm also sending this to myself, and we're setting the priority to P2. So here we're actually modifying the priority right before we're creating that alert, since we know that threshold value is set to 75. And our last policy, we are actually doing the same thing, but we are checking to see if the threshold contains 90. And if the threshold contains 90, then we're going to actually set that priority to P1. And then we're going to set the priority to P1 critical. And that way, within the team itself, we can have a escalation specifically for P1 alerts to route a bit more aggressively and to get people's attention a bit quicker for this particular alert. So as you can see, based on those alert details that we're receiving from CloudWatch, we can route these alerts a bit more differently to really pinpoint the correct people for these particular alerts and make sure that our teams are responding to these alerts as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And John, there's a question about just the kind of the why behind the threshold policy examples. I guess the benefit of doing both 75 and 90 or alerting people before that threshold is fully met.
Sorry, what was the last part?
Or just kind of the benefit of alerting teams or individuals before that threshold is met at like 90% or 75.
Sure. So within Opsgenie, you can have different priorities, and maybe before that 90 threshold is set, maybe it's at 75, and we want to give it a priority of P2. We can actually route a bit differently. So we can say, hey, if it's a P2, we want to continue to escalate to a certain group of people, but we don't want it to be too aggressive because it is only a P2, and that threshold is only at 75 at the current moment. And then if it gets to 90, then we want to say, okay, set that priority to P1, start notifying people as quickly as possible, and just using those policies. It's just a way of fine-tuning your alerts and making sure that you're getting people's attention as quickly as possible.
Okay, great.
All right. So from there, I'm also going to show you how we can report on these CloudWatch alarms and how we can customize the reporting for different types of alarms. So I'm going to pull up our reports page. All right. And the first report I'm going to pull up is just an alert analytics report, which will essentially just show us how many alerts are being created for that particular alert, what teams they're going to, etc. So I'm going to click on Alert Analytics. And as you can see at the filters at the top, we can filter on tons of different values from the Opsgenie alerts. So what we're going to actually do is go back to that CloudWatch alert, and we're going to look at this region here. So I'm going to run a report on all of my CloudWatch alarms that are coming, that are originating within the U.S. East North Virginia region. I'm just going to take this value, and in the reporting filter, I'm going to say the alert details key. We want to say equal to region, and the value must be equal to U.S. East North Virginia. And then we also want to double check and make sure that the source is CloudWatch, because that is the source that we have set here for these particular alerts. So if we do CloudWatch, now we can go ahead and set a time frame. So I just want to do everything within the last month. So now we can click Run to generate this report. And then as we can see, over the past month, we've gotten 25 alerts from that U.S. East Northern Virginia region. We can show how many are still open. So it looks like we have 3 that are still open. It shows the alerts by priority. So the majority of ours have been critical. And you can also show alerts per day. So as you can see, looks like here on July 3rd, we got 4 alerts. And we also got 4 yesterday on the 10th as well. So you can get a breakdown of when these alerts are coming in, which days, and which priorities these are coming in as. And you can also schedule these specific reports. So maybe you want a report on all of your CloudWatch alerts every week. You can go ahead and click schedule over here in the top right. And we can set this to weekly. And we're going to say every Monday morning at 6 a.m., send us this report. And you can just give it the email address here to send it to. And then every Monday morning at 6 a.m., you'll have a report on all of your different CloudWatch alarms. One other last report that you can do, you can also do a mean time to acknowledge report on these particular alerts. So the mean time to acknowledge report, it really just shows how your team's performing on these particular alerts. So here we can just type in CloudWatch, and we can also type in down here, we're just going to run alerts for CloudWatch. And this is over the last 7 days. And this gives you a breakdown on how your team's performing on these particular alerts. So it shows if there are any spikes on any particular days. And it really just gives you a breakdown of how quickly your team is resolving these particular alerts. And what's nice is you can also click on these bar graphs here, and you can actually drill down into these particular alerts. So it looks like yesterday on the 10th, it took us a very long time to acknowledge these alerts. We can actually drill down into those alerts, and it will show all 7 of those alerts that were created yesterday. So it gives you a great breakdown of everything that was going on. And again, this same mean time to acknowledge report, you can go ahead and schedule that report for every week, every month, any time frame that you would like, and you can get that report sent directly to your inbox.
Yeah. And John, there's a question about where these reports are available, or like what product plan they're available in.
Yes.
So everyone.
Yeah. So the reporting becomes available on the standard plan, and the advanced reporting with all of these different reports in here are available on our enterprise plan.
Okay, great. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in any of that, you can speak with us offline or chat us out at any time if you want to get access to any of the reports you may not have access to in your plan that you're on today.
All right, so that wraps up our live demo. From here, we can talk about next as well as questions.
Yep. Let me just I can take control back here. Okay. All right, so great, thanks, John. So again, now is a great time to get any questions that you have that have come up into the chat box, so we can answer those as we wrap up here. But in terms of next steps, number one is getting the integration set up. I think if you have questions, we're happy to help at any time. Even if you're in a trial, we can reach out, we can help you there as well. I did want to get a little bit more information too, just kind of based on what you've seen. This question about, are you interested in starting to use the poll, or use the integration? So if you could vote on that, that'd be super helpful as well. We can always follow up with you offline as well. But really good information from John today. So I appreciate any and all questions and interaction you guys have with us to give us feedback on the integration and anything else that we can do to help you with CloudWatch and any of the other Amazon products that you're using or services that you're using. Okay, good. So we've got a good response. Thanks for that. Go back to the presentation. So that'll wrap it up. So yeah, again, if anyone has any questions, we can take those now, or we can take them offline. A couple of good resources, just to as one of the questions came in on, we'll send out that blog post about kind of the integration with Slack and things like that. We also have a great how to integrate video, so kind of a higher level video that walks through what John just covered in a kind of clean setting. And there's also an AWS deployment guide, which gives you more detail about all of the AWS services that we integrate with. And then just also a plug for new integrations. Like I said earlier, we're constantly doing new integrations. So if you're a Salesforce Service Cloud or a Splunk ITSI customer, those are 2 integrations worth checking out. And we've got the link to the documentation there as well. All right, so last call for questions. I don't see any new ones. I think we're good at the moment. So again, get in contact with us at any time. Bottom right corner of the app or on the website, you can chat with John or anyone else on the team. Pretty much any time of the day, we're here to help. So with that, we'll say thank you very much for attending today's webinar, and we hope to talk with you again soon. Take care.